Alright, what's good? Today's video, simple video, actually. It's how the hell can you build a freaking god tier physique? Okay, I'm not saying, okay, obviously most people can't reach god tier level, but I'm saying how can you improve your physique? Obviously that was for clickbait. How the hell do you get a freaking god tier physique? There's 3 freaking pillars, okay? There's only 3 pillars. It's a simple process, but it's not an easy process, okay? So listen closely. The first pillar is sleep. The second pillar is nutrition. And the third pillar is training. Bang, you can just end the video, okay? I mean, right now I'll just go vaguely over it, but I'll probably just make another couple of videos explaining the different nuances of sleep, nutrition, and training. But simply put, right? Sleep. You want to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. If you're a teenager, then 9 to 10, according to Andrew Huberman. Because you're growing at a really fast rate, so you need all of that extra sleep. Because sleep is when the building gets done, right? All the recovery gets done. You ever think of like Goku in the hyperbaric time chamber, or like when he's in that chamber and he's got that like mask on and he's like breathing. That's what sleep is, right? It's just sleep, you know? Okay? But these all are codependent on each other. Nutrition. Once again, if you need to be building muscle, you need to be in a calorie surplus. Simple as that. Okay? I hear people talking about, you can build muscle in a calorie deficit. Bro. There's too much nuance to that, okay? Just be in a surplus and just forget about it, okay? Be in a surplus, but also hit your protein target. So 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, then 200 grams of protein, you know? And some people might say, oh, but this study says 0.82 grams per lean body mass. Just follow it, okay? It's not, of course there's an optimal amount, but as long as you're getting 95% of the things correct for 95% of the time, you're going to be making gains, okay? You don't need to be perfect. It's about being consistent. Like, you could eat a really good freaking diet for 1 day, and then 364 days of really shit diet. And that you're going to make no gains. But let's just say for 364 days of the year, you did 70 to 80% of the things correct in your diet. Bang! All of a sudden, you're making a lot more gains, okay? So it's not about being perfect. It's about being as good as you can be for the most consistent amount of time. The third thing is training, okay? I think a lot of people overlook this. No. I feel like training is obviously quite important as well, right? You can't just eat good and sleep good and expect to make muscle, right? So how do you train good? If you're training for muscle growth, which I'm speaking of now, you want to hit high frequency, at least 2 times a week per body part, right? You want to be hitting chest 2 times a week, back 2 times a week, and legs 2 times a week, right? So I recommend, me personally, I like a push-pull leg split, but the split does not matter, okay? Once again, these are all nuances that, you know, maybe sure one's better than the other, but just do what you enjoy, because what you enjoy is what you can do consistently over a long period of time, okay? That just makes sense. It just makes freaking sense, right? So preferably err on the higher frequency training. So you could make gains on a 3-day split, but 6 days is the way, 5 days is the way, 4 days is the way, right? But just remember, it's what fits your lifestyle. So if you only have time to work out 3 times a week, then go 3 times a week. At least you're working out more than 0 times a week. And you want to train hard, right? You don't be you don't be sleeping in the gym, just half-assedly hitting the weights, right? You want to be tracking your workouts, being like, okay, last week I hit 225 on the bench, or 100 kilos on the bench for 4. Okay, this week I'm trying to go for 5, right? Even though last week's 4 was a RPE 8, okay, I know this is getting confusing. Let's just say 80% exertion, right? You're exerting 80% of your effort. This week, you're also going to exert 80%, but because your muscles has adapted from the damage of last week, you're going to be hitting 225 or 100 kilos for 5 reps instead of 4, right? The exertion is the same, so you don't have to train harder, okay? You just have to train hard consistently, okay? You have to train harder. You can train harder if you want. But once again, there's more nuance to that. Okay, so you have to be consistently training hard, consistently eating well, and consistently sleeping well. Okay, it doesn't matter if you're not getting certain things perfect. Ideally, in an ideal world, we don't live in an ideal world, but ideally, you would get all those variables at an optimal level. But, we don't live in an optimal world, right? And you master those 3 facets, and you do it consistently over a couple years, maybe 1 to 2 years, and you'll have made gains that you would have never expected. Okay, I'd say if you train for 3 years, you'll have already unlocked maybe 70% of your genetic potential. Okay, that's obviously an arbitrary number, but we're not here to put numbers on things. I'm just here to explain it as relatably and as layman as possible. And who am I? Well, I used to be a freaking fat, sweaty gamer who had 4,000 hours on CSGO, 3,000 hours on this game called TF2, and like maybe 1,000 hours on Valorant. Okay, I went from that to a guy who has like a decently respectable physique. If you guys can relate, if you're a freaking sweaty gamer, you can relate. I'm not trying to sound boasty, but like, it's possible. Okay, just trust me on this. Okay, just freaking trust me. Okay, who cares about the studies? This, that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, who cares about the studies, bro? F the studies. Okay, just listen. It just happened to me. It's simple. It's actually simple. It's simple, but not easy. Okay. You do the damage to your muscles with training. You eat to give your body fuel, and then you sleep to use that fuel to recover that damage. Simply put, I've got a little private community that you guys can join as well, where we can just talk literally about anything. The link will be down in the description below.